After regional players, let's come back to the protagonist, Israel and Iran. Why are they at war? Why have they been fighting proxy battles for decades? How did they go from being close allies to arch rivals? That's right, until the 1970s, Iran and Israel were close allies. Our next report tells you what changed and why.
The year was 1948. Israel was created. Turkey became the first Muslim country to recognize the Jewish state. But can you guess who was the second? Surprisingly, Iran, which was home to the biggest Jewish community in West Asia. At the time, relations were anything but hostile between Iran and Israel. In fact, the two shared close ties. They had become allies under the last Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. According to reports, Israel imported 40% of its oil from Iran in exchange for agricultural produce, weapons, and technology. So how did the two nations go from being allies to enemies? The shift happened in 1979. This was the year of the Islamic Revolution, when Iran toppled the Shah. A new Islamic Republic of Iran was born. This swiftly ended the friendship between the two states. The Ayatollahs, or the supreme leaders, took charge of Iran, and all of them considered Israel to be enemy number one. Also, the illegal occupiers of Jerusalem. After the 1979 revolution, Tehran cut all ties with Israel. Citizens could no longer travel there. Flight routes were cancelled. The Israeli embassy in Tehran was transformed into the Palestinian embassy. In turn, Israel refused to recognize the new Islamic Republic. And this was only the beginning. Over the decades, the two nations have sought to grow their influence across the region. As their ambitions clashed, their enmity grew. Now, Iran supports groups that view Israel as a major enemy. These armed groups and militias are spread across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. The most important among them is Hezbollah, which is backed by Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Israel has returned the favor, so to speak, by backing groups that oppose Iran. Tehran designates many of these as terrorist organizations. Like the Mujahideen-e-Khalq, a Europe-based organization, and Kurdish armed groups in Iraqi Kurdistan. The two nations have fought proxy wars for decades now. They have also carried out a long series of attacks on each other. This shadow war has gone on, both within and outside their soils. For instance, Israel has vowed to never let Iran develop a nuclear bomb. Tehran's nuclear program has been a site of a number of attacks. Israel has never accepted responsibility for these strikes. Meanwhile, Iran has also targeted several Israeli interests. For instance, in 2012, a series of attacks were launched against Israeli targets in Georgia, India, and Thailand. Israel accused Tehran, but Iran denied the charges, to no one's surprise. Then again, in 2021, an Israeli-owned vehicle carrier was hit by an explosion. It was sailing off the coast of Oman. Tehran was blamed again, but it denied any involvement. Iran and Israel went from allies to sworn enemies. And now, for the first time, almost after half a century of being foes, Iran has directly attacked Israel. The road to reconciliation has never seemed farther.
Iran has launched a direct attack from Iranian soil towards the state of Israel.